Hey guys, we're at the beautiful University of Utah in Salt Lake City, and just amazing views around here. At the, I guess, film department, so I thought this was a wonderful place to check out a Magnum Classic. It's the first folding electric bike I've seen from them, and it's their value priced electric bike. So this is $12.99. Not bad for, really getting something that's fairly complete. It's got lights, it's got fenders, got 7 gears, and beyond just like hitting those specs, it's actually, I think, relatively good looking, fairly affordable in terms of a bike that you can get from a shop, because a lot of times you're buying something, you're paying less, and it's kind of an online thing. I like to be able to go in and get fitted and have a warranty. These guys have 1-year comprehensive, and they also do sell online. You can get it shipped direct if you need to, but it's nice to be able to go in and see this. I love the color scheme we're looking at here. So it's like matte black with these blue accents, and they go all the way down to the rims. I really love that. They also have an orange version where those accents are just orange. It's kind of neat. So I was weighing this earlier. It's about 53.8 pounds. So 54, a little bit heavier, but I think that's because we've got a suspension fork here and some of the upgrades like the saddle and the little suspension post right here. This is 27.2 millimeters. You could replace it, but it's better than nothing. It actually works pretty well, and they've even got this seat clamp that pivots up like that. Really like that. From here you can see those big rubber bumpers, just a lot of comfort. And then the suspension up front, this is really basic. Zoom, Aria. You can see here where it's actually been moving. Not a lot of distance there. I estimated like 40 millimeters of travel officially. I'm not super heavy, and I did notice I kind of had to really kind of bump myself up and down to get that one to activate. They're not adjustable, but they did work. I was actually riding this around across the grass and the quad area here, and it was definitely more comfortable than if it didn't have those things, but they do add a little bit of weight. Tires are 20 inches by 2.125 CST, reflective sidewall stripes. Love that. That really helps you stand out, especially given that this is a black frame. And it complements the lights. Each light is from Spinninga, which is a brand that I kind of like, but they run off of AA batteries. So in order to activate these, you have to press the button, or in this case, little switch, and they light up. But if you park the bike and you're in a hurry going to class or something like that and you forget, you might come out and have your batteries like dead. You might have to replace them, which isn't quite as convenient as if they were wired in and just running off the battery pack. The battery itself is pretty nice, 36 volts, 13 amp hours, so it's a step up. I call it slightly larger than average. It does slide off the bike fairly easily. It's got the keys that lock it on. This is one of the gripes I have over here. You have to leave the keys in order to use this bike, and you can see that it comes with 2. Imagine this is your keychain. Kind of dangles around a little bit while you're riding. This is not uncommon. I see this on a lot of electric bikes, especially value bikes that are using, I think this is kind of like a silverfish style battery, might be the industry term. Nice aluminum casing. In this case, at least it's not silver, it's black, and it's got the branding. It's got the handle on top, it's got a little power meter so you can tell how full it is, whether it's on or off the bike. It's about 7.5 pounds when I took it off earlier, but it does slide on nicely. Be careful when you go down, because I kind of almost pinched my finger a little bit. But the point I wanted to make is that the track on this felt really nice. Other times I've looked at bikes where the track and stuff, it just didn't feel solid, and this one does. So we're down here by the kickstand, which it's nice that they have a kickstand, but you can see a little bit of metal scratching going on there. That's because these cranks collide right there. It's nicer if you could have the kickstand mounted back here, and there's even a plate for it, but for whatever reason, they just didn't do that. And in some ways, I understand, because it's more towards the middle where the weight is on this bike. I'm really thankful that the battery's here and not on the rack, because it keeps the rack lower, frees it up a lot. And I was noticing it appears to have like 12 gauge spokes in the rear, and maybe 13 up front. So these are extra thick, and smaller diameter wheels, 20-inch wheels like this, they tend to be a little bit stronger anyway, because the spokes just don't have to reach as far. So for carrying someone who's a little bit heavier, carrying more weight, that should work out well. The rack says maximum 25 kilograms. It's about 55 pounds. It's got the little spring latch thing going on, bit of a pannier blocker on the side that you could maybe clip to. Should work out all right. and then a linear pull brake in the back. Not quite as cool as having a disc brake, but we do have a disc brake up front, and that's where a lot of the stopping power actually happens. 160 millimeters, and you can see it's mechanical. Got a Promax rotor, and then it's a Promax linear pull in the back. The cables are kind of a neat, upgrade in terms of cool factor, sort of this silvery color going on. The levers seem generic. I think I was told that they're R-Tech, but they have the rubber lining on the edge, and they do have motor inhibitors. So they're really not skimping. Well, actually, it appears that the left one has a motor inhibitor, maybe not the right one. Yeah, well, in any case, it's nice that, and there is a hole here for it, so perhaps the bike I'm on just didn't have it or something like that. Anyway, I love that they have a bell. Got a little upgrade there. This is a bike that, it's designed to be folded, and the folding points all felt pretty good. I've extended the stem as high as I could, so it's telescoping. It's got that quick release here, and then it's got a locking point here, so it should not come unfolded on you. Same with the center folding point. And you'll notice that we've put that latch straight up, so it should stay out of your way. But if you're on this bike and you have to hop off real quick, it's still kind of a danger point. You don't want to clip your knee or your thigh on this and get a bruise. I guess what I was trying to illustrate is that the bars can go a little higher. The seat actually extends pretty high. So this is a one-size-fits-all sort of a frame, but it actually works out pretty well, and there's some little adjustments in there you can deal with. Note that if you extend the stem a lot, though, these cables start to stretch, and it might actually impede some of your steering. So that, everything's kind of connected. Love that the cables and things are pretty modular, so if you had an issue with the display or something, you could replace it easily. I actually like the display that they've got going here, even though it's not quite as fancy as some of the others. It gives you a lot of choices and stuff, and we'll get back to that. Stitched ergonomic grips, grip twist shifter right here for 7 speeds, lower end derailleur, just Shimano tourney, but they tend to work all right, and especially in this case, you've got a derailleur guard, and that's going to help protect the motor power cable, which comes through the axle back here. It's an 11 millimeter axle, a little bit thicker, versus up front 9 millimeter. That's more standard, and nuts on both sides. Okay, so you don't have the quick release, but you've got these nice aluminum fenders. Sometimes you take the wheel off, the fender can get bent more easily, and this is already a folding bike. We fit this one and another one over there. That's the premium in the back of Jesse, who works at the company. His SUV, they fit fine. There was actually room to spare. So it's back to maybe you don't need quick release, and sometimes that makes it easier for someone to steal your wheel or just mess with your bike. So I'm happy with it. You can see a little support arm here under the bottom bracket, and that's designed so that when you do fold it and it kind of rests down here, you don't end up bending the teeth and the chain ring and stuff. I love that they have a chain guide, aluminum plates on both sides, kind of acts as a bash guard. I believe this is 52 teeth and 11 to 32 in the back. So the larger sprocket up front, it helps to balance out the smaller wheels so that you don't end up just spinning super fast. This is really set up to be a folding bike, and it handles well as such, which is what you like to see. I think, all in all, there's some cheaper parts on this bike, but that reflects the lower price, and really it's a good looking bike, and the parts that they've used are matching, and they fit well, they perform well. So ultimately I was pretty happy with it, just as something to ride around. So coming back to the battery, it's switched to on. We're gonna come up here to the display panel, press this on button, comes to life. There we go. I think if we tap on again, it actually does the backlighting, and it's bright enough today that you can't see it, but that's kind of nice. You can turn it on or off. It's pretty easy to reach without taking your hand off the grip. Set is going to rotate through these different little menus down here, whether it's a timer or your odometer, trip meter, max speed, that kind of stuff. Nice to have. We've got a power level indicator with 6 dots. That's nice, so finer increments. Speed and miles per hour. I actually entered the menu a while ago just holding set and was able to switch from kilometers to miles per hour because that's what I prefer. And then your levels of assist. So we're in 3 right now, but I could arrow all the way up to 6 for top speed. And I was pretty impressed, actually. I got up to 22 miles per hour, which on a folding bike that's plenty, and I was zipping along the streets here, just trying to stay out of the way, and it felt pretty solid. I didn't have any concerns about the latches and the folding elements. So that was really cool. And you could actually see the power meter going up and down based on what I was doing. And a lot of the time I was using the throttle to get going, and then I would take it from there using pedal assist. The sensor that they have is very sensitive. You can actually maybe see a little red LED in there. I don't know how many magnets it uses, but I'd estimate at least 12 in there, or that maybe there's some other mechanism. It's very compact. It's not gonna get kicked and come out of true the way that some of the cheaper ones are. So just like the battery, yeah, they're using a more basic battery. It's gonna be more affordable. It's not like in the down tube or anything. However, at least it's matched. At least it's the nicer version of that technology. And I feel like that's the same thing here. Yeah, this is cadence sensing. It's not torque sensing. This isn't a mid-drive that's sensing speed, cadence, torque. It's just cadence. But in some ways, that's fine. It means you really don't have to push very hard. You just move your legs and it activates the motor. And at any time, you override with full power on that throttle. Okay, and you know, there's a little bit of reaching going on here to get to it, but it was fine, you know. And at any level, even at 0, you have throttle only mode. So that's a little kind of an upgrade, something that I complain about on other bikes where I'm like, man, I'm messing with like what level of pedal assist, and I'm thinking about stuff. I just want it to go. I have a variable speed throttle. Just let me use the throttle. And this bike totally does that. So, you know, kudos for that. You can see the branding on the motor back here. This is an internally geared 8-fun 350 watt hub motor. Probably peaks at like, you know, 550, 600, something like that. It's fairly zippy, and it definitely got me up to those higher speeds just fine. I think I mentioned 36 volt, 13 amp hour, slightly larger battery. So all in all, I'm just trying to say, like, the controller, everything on this bike seems pretty good. It's definitely doing a good job for me. I think I'm gonna hop on and just pedal around and try to demonstrate how responsive pedal assist is, because to me that's a big deal. Okay, we got the folding plastic pedals, by the way. Not super stiff, but they get the job done. They're Welgo, so they're a little bit of an upgrade, and of course that's what allows the bike to get kind of narrower if you actually fold it. Pretty fast, even starting from 0, and I'm in a higher gear right now. I'm in the highest gear, gear 7. Okay, cross into the quad. Let's do suspension. Having fun, not having to push, and I'm climbing right now. Oh boy. Cool. The other thing I noticed about this setup is that the bars were slightly crooked, just slightly. You can see they're tilted just a little bit to the left, and I think it has to do with the telescoping and stuff. Again, I've kind of maximized it because I prefer this upright body position. I don't really like to be leaning forward. Thanks. There we go. The throttle actually handled pretty well there with no hands. Hey, what's up, Jesse? Woo! So we got a co-founder of Magnum right here. How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Oh, I'm great, man. You know, it's been fun zipping around on this thing, exploring the university, and I was hoping I could get your help to do like a folding setup.
You sure can. You sure can. The first thing we'll do probably is take the seat down. We can either take it down or off all the way. Okay. When getting it in your car, I found that sometimes taking it off all the way is just a little bit easier.
Sure. I think we got the telescoping right here.
Yes, sir, we do. We're gonna put this down. And the first thing I do is there's a little latch right here. When you push up on it, it's gonna release.
Yeah.
This comes down like so. And finally, 2 more things actually. I'm gonna do the pedals first.
Oh, good call. A lot of times, like with the kickstands, I'll forget, and then I'm struggling and the bike's like tipping on me. Yeah, so good call.
So with the pedals, you're gonna push them in a little bit, and then they'll just kind of release to the side.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing is the centerfold. This comes up, and it's not going to fold right away. You're going to have to actually pull up, if you can kind of get a close-up there, Court.
Oh, yeah.
Up there, you see how that comes up?
Yep.
And then just really easily it comes together.
Thank you for pointing that out. Like, that's actually thrown me for a loop during reviews before, and it's another safety point. It's like a locking mechanism.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
You have a little, thank you, little handle here.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually somewhat mobile. Now, I'm a big guy, admittedly.
Yeah.
But, to get it up a flight of stairs like so, or into the back of your car.
Yep.
It's just so much easier.
Especially if you take the battery off. So that's the other thing that's worth mentioning. We didn't turn it. I don't think we turned it off before you break the bike down or set it up. Turn it off because the trigger throttle could still be active.
Right.
Especially if the battery's turned on, and we might just.
I did turn it off actually.
Oh, you did? Oh, I'm glad someone's paying attention here. That's good.
And the last thing, you're right, is the battery. So maybe we wait and we can we'll fold it back up again and get a close-up of the battery.
No, it's all good. I've already showed the battery. And you know what? I realize now that there is actually a USB charging port. Before, I was kind of skipping that, thinking you didn't have the extra feature, but that's kind of nice. And again, a lot of the wires and stuff are pretty well concealed. If you had like a GPS or something, you could get a right angle USB adapter on Amazon and then just, run that along your frame, or maybe back here in the bag, you'd have your phone charging while you're riding. Those are the kind of features, like the little extra things that I find on your bikes.
It's nice. Magnum Bikes has been around for a couple of years now in the US, and we're all about customer feedback, dealer support, dealer feedback. We make these changes with you guys in mind. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So in the past, batteries have come out where it's kind of difficult to reach. You have to actually take the battery off to get to the USB or to charge it. To have it right there, as Court mentioned, it's great. You can just plug it in and go.
Okay. Well, I think that's a great overview. The one piece that while we were messing around with all that, I was trying to explain, if you take the battery off before you have to lift this and put it in your car or whatever, that's going to make a huge difference. 7.5 pounds off of your 54 roughly pounds. That for someone, I'm kind of sensitive. I'm not a huge guy like Jesse over here, so I think about those things. I guess that's it though. I'm super excited to see this. A lot of people have a limited budget, and if you have to park it outside and you're like, it's something you don't want to spend the extra money, this is a pretty great option for the price. For the full write-up on this, I'll see you back at electricbikereview.com. Of course, chime in if you have any feedback, comments, and as always, ride safe. So we're back at Magnum's North America headquarters, and you get to see a bunch of other colors here. We've got gloss white with orange, matte black with orange. I kind of like that. That's sort of cool. It balances out the blue, but of course the blue looks great. This is the high step frame I was talking about versus the low step. I actually really like how easy these are to get on, given that you've got a rack. You just step right over, and it's significantly lower, but style-wise, it's cool that you've got options. It's a lot of options for folding electric bikes. You usually don't get that in terms of the color and frame style. Of course, Magnum has a network of dealers you can go in and test ride, and I really think that's great if you can go in and see how it looks, see how it feels, and give that suspension a bit of a test. But they also ship direct, and their dealers ship too. So this is what it would look like showing up at your house. The box is fairly manageable. Sometimes you get these huge giant things, but being a folding electric bike, it's really relatively compact. I'm here with Corey. You're like a lead service technician.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, and you helped me just a minute ago. You tipped the box and kind of pulled this out.
Yeah.
And this is what it would look like. This is like a brand new bike that they're letting me tinker with. It's got the bubble wrap and the seat and the charger, and Corey was just going to show how easy it is to put this together. Of course, you'd want to be careful. I think in real life you might have a knife or something, but all of these were just like bows.
Actually, this one's going to fight me here.
Kind of pull them out like that. Something oh, there you go. Just pull that out. We're trying to simulate a single person doing a little bit of, to me, that's basically done. We
much there at this point. The pedals, they fold in really easy. Mm-hmm. Just kind of snap them right into place there. And,
yeah, it was seriously like a 5-minute thing or whatever. It's really not too bad. And you didn't even have to mess with the bars. That's something that I think about a lot, because the full size bikes, a lot of times the bar is completely separate and you have to bolt it on. I believe this one does come with some extra tools, like some Allen keys and stuff. that are, yeah, there it is. Check this out. Got a little screwdriver, Phillips head, some Allen keys. Got the charger. That's 2.2 or 2 amps, about 1.5 pounds. Relatively compact, so a lot of times I'll get like a little saddle bag, and I'll bring my charger with me all the time, so you can just, you know, fill it up a little bit. Is that it? Are we there?
We're ready to rock.
Put your weight on it again. I saw it. Yeah, you can see the suspension going up and down a little bit back there. That's nice. How about the seat post? You wanna?
Same thing there.
Yeah, a little bit of. Oh, there we go. Got to break it in a little bit. Work it in. There we go, man. You're awesome. Thank you so much, Corey.
No problem.